All right, let's get this started. What's up, my friends? We got the monitors up and running. We've got picks to review, more picks to make. Yesterday's live show went 10-2. We were due. We've had a bunch of 3-3, 3-4, 4-2, and we went with some volume yesterday. 10-2 with the picks. Let's run it back today. I'm going to showcase yesterday's. We're going to make a bunch more picks today via the projections, the Sharp Money Radar, and the EV optimizers. A lot to do, a lot to do. I appreciate y'all for being here. Let's cue the music. All right, let's go. Lots to talk about. Trying to drag stuff on the screen. Make some money. Music is off. Music's off. Let's go. It's time. What's up, my friends? Got a million things going on. Getting tagged by developers, staff, members. I've got questions in chat. Adam James, we recap every single live show every single day, buddy. You must be new to the show. So let's check it out. Here's yesterday. You ready? Here's the 16 bets we made yesterday. Now, 4 of them you will not see show up. LeBron, that's tonight. And these two, VJ Edgecombe and Derek White. Those are also tonight. So here we go. We're going to click the resolve. Let me refresh the screen, make sure we got this ready to rock. Okay. So resolve all, drum roll. Okay, hold on. 6-2. And the 3 hockey ones, I saw these all won because there we go. Oh, and Tim Hardaway won. So I guess this one didn't resolve either. I was just talking to my developer and he said he hadn't connected the NHL. So I had to do that manually. And I was just Googling these because I didn't watch it, but 3 shots on goal for Bowen Bryant. Where'd it go? Bowen Bryant, that's the over, so on and so forth. So yesterday we went 10-2. There's the picks right here on the live show. And we're going to get it today as well. We're going to go crazy. Super pumped. So if you watch yesterday's show, these were the picks, which means you got 4 picks left tonight. Now, I don't know if they still remain. If they're there, you can grab them if you like. That's VJ Edgecombe under 12.5 on Underdog. Derek White under 21.5 PRA on Underdog. And then we had LeBron over 7.5 assists. LeBron under 7.5 rebounds. What a banger of a day. So, oh my gosh, let's run it back right now on air. We're going to be using the Plus EV tool again, the Sharp Money Radar again, the DFS Optimizer again. We'll take a look at some trends. We're going to look at the projections. I want to show you some of the different markets I was finding through the new Tracker app to see how things have been going. And hold on, let me reply to a developer real quick. So we got a lot going on in the back end today for stuff. So, hang tight. I might get pulled to the side. We got some new summaries. This is the mobile view. Sorry, but it's the only photo I have. This one also, I guess I missed this one. Apparently, St. Louis scored 4 runs in the top of the 9th. I thought that one ended. I thought Pittsburgh was on the road. So that's a miss recap. This is also a miss. Pittsburgh and the Dodgers. I, of course, in my luck, I took one friggin' play from the top picks here, and it was the Dodgers -1.5, and they finished in the bottom of the 9th with, I think, 4 runs and won 5-4, or 3 runs in the bottom 9. Somebody had a 3-run banger, I think. And they won 5-4. So that one ended up missing. This was the one I chose for Discord, of course. But all the other officials friggin' won, and, Pittsburgh here. And, of course, I choose the friggin' Dodgers. I couldn't believe it when I woke up and saw that. So frustrating. But anyways, this tab, we'll take a look at this today so you can take a quick peek and see what it looks like. I don't mind showing it because it is the early morning update of the model, and things adjust and change throughout the day. So, if you're a VIP of the site, you're going to get a bunch of different stuff as you get going. Yeah, Man U yesterday with a big W. Oh, and Sam, hey, brother, you gotta listen up. I just covered this 3 times. Focus in, Adam James. Get yourself a coffee. Get yourself a coffee. This is a market I'm totally interested in right now. So I wanted to talk about this. Yesterday, the records are going to be showing different. The percentages will not show different today. So apparently a bug was found this morning that the records were 1.5 timesing essentially all the results for whatever friggin' reason. So weird. It was like carrying over half of whatever their previous day was. So like, 2 and 1 would be half of 4 and 2. 2 and 1 would get added on here. They would say 5 and 2. 4 and 1. I don't know. It was just carrying over. 6 and 3. It was just carrying over, and it would be, instead of 6 and 3, it'd be 9 and 4. Or instead of 6 and 2, it'd be 9 and 3. Whatever. I can't even think of an example. But anyways, the percentages are all correct. But the records you'll see updated today a little differently. So no worries. You're not missing out on anything specific. Percentages are all the same. So what we're doing is we're building out some quick play buttons too for the tracker tool, so that you can find essentially like what are the best things to target. So I'll be adding the hits allowed overs as well. So fantastic, man. Fantastic. Super excited because we're going to be able to give you like the best plays. You'll essentially be able to open this up, the tracker, and be like, all right, what are the best? You'll do some research, and you can, make sure you're in a good spot to make money at all times by using the projections. And as you see, based on yesterday's bets, if you're using these tools, which we used the DFS Optimizer primarily yesterday and the Sharp Money Radar primarily, started off with some EV tool stuff. So let's go down the list. We'll do the same thing today. We'll start with the Plus EV Optimizer. We'll take a look at the Sharp Money Radar, and then we're going to finish with the DFS Optimizer for Underdog and for Prize Picks. And at any time you want to use this to make your own bets around the clock outside of this 1 hour per day on my live show, and you want a chance to go, 10 and 2 multiplied times 5 because you're doing it all day, you can do that. The results here are essentially what you get on these live shows. There's a few days in here I didn't stream. You see blanks, but I stream frequently, and you see the results. So Do what you want this. Do what you want with this. It's here for you. MySprayEdge.com. Get that link down below. All right. So, that introduction's always a mouthful. I'm always trying to cover so much. Recapping quickly, 10-2 yesterday on the recaps. Best bets absolutely went nuclear. My VIP picks product, the tails product, I chose one of the 11, one of the 10, and it would just happen to be one of the 2 that missed yesterday. Of course, my luck of just picking something out of the hat, super annoying. But today I expect us to be able to bounce back because we're going to be looking at all the goodies as we get going here. So if you're new to the show, do me a huge favor. Just go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're on X, retweet the video right now. Retweet the live show. That is always helpful for me as I am here 5 days a week giving away freebies, my friends. Giving away as many freebies as possible. And Chad, if you got any questions today, of course, fire them off. I'm happy to answer all the things that I can as we get going. So you guys ready? You let me know, chat. You ready to start making some dubs, banging out some picks? Because I am. When we look at the Plus EV optimizer, this is going to be devigged lines. These are devigged, all right? So we've taken all the sports books, not to pick them, all the sports books, we devig the lines, and then we're just mathematically approaching this for all of the tools, for all of the pick-em apps. So Sharp Edge is getting a parlay builder, a predictions market tool, and some other goodies that are being quietly planned right now. But the parlay builder is going to be the big one coming up for Sharp Edge, buddy. But, listen, man, just bounce around. If Sharp Edge, you want to try just essentials for a bit, go for it. No one's telling you have to do anything different. Cam Schittler here, under 4.5 hits allowed. This is a nice looking play on Underdog right now. Now, I don't have FanDuel and Pinnacle, which are the things that I like to look at in addition to what the EV percentage is. And here's my example. And I says I also compare to FanDuel and Pinnacle. For the sake of the show, we don't have FanDuel and Pinnacle lines for this just yet. Sometimes that is because it's a different line outright. So everyone here, is it 3.5 for FanDuel? No, it's not. 5.5? Nope. So we just don't have one yet. Same for Pinnacle. Maybe later we will. But man, what a nice outlier line we get. Both Plus EV on BetMGM and Underdog right now. So pretty fantastic. Not bad. You can actually play it on Better DFS and Price Picks for 3-pick entries as well. They're all Plus EV. Very small edges, but those edges compound. Let's go ahead and save this bet. The first official one for the show. We'll go from there. Ao Desunmu. Again, we have, okay. 2 things. Number 1, I think I'm going to hold off on this. I have so many plays that always keep being in advance. April 30th. This is multiple days away. I've said that you often will get the best closing line value if you target these plays later, right? These are the plays that end up being great closing line value. But the problem you have a little bit is that you don't always have these plays. They're just not widely available 3 days ahead. So you don't get, I think, the most accurate devigged lines, if that makes sense. So if you were looking at, this play, it's, how many sports books was I looking at there? 5. What's this? Anywhere else? No. So it's like you're devigging so few plays. That would be Bovada, Caesars, DraftKings, FanDuel, both sides of the line, and then you strip out the vig, blah, blah, blah. So it's good, but minus 125 comparatively on this side, specifically for DFS, maybe not ideal. Again, now you want to add some sports books and things in here. You're going to get a billion plays. You want to add NHL and some other sports, by all means, you can. This is totally up to you how you use this. You want to add a fair odds band or an EV percentage to get a minimum. You can do that at any time. BetMGM is going to be the softest book on earth for you. You can really take advantage over there. I mean, here's a good example. You're ready for this one? We have this line, Zach Littell over 5.5 hits allowed, 10.8% edge. If you go to his player card, it's always a nice, quick little spot you can look to see. Look how many books it is, and look how juiced. I always like this view specifically. I guess my eyes just pick it up better. It's just been, recap wise, it's been fantastic. You're getting an insane edge, plus 105, DVIG line of a fair odds of minus 118. So I just wanted to highlight that really quick because if you are using BetMGM or some of these other books, you will get phenomenal lines over there in BetMGM. I will say that maybe be a little mindful, and Kelly Criterion can get you limited quickly. Flat staking potentially better if you end up doing that. It's just my 2 cents. I'm not telling you how to bet. Just in my personal experience, I'm limited on every single book in my state outside of Bally's, which for whatever reason hasn't limited me yet. FanDuel and DraftKings, but Bet Rivers, BetMGM, I probably screwed myself up by going Kelly Criterion in the beginning of my Plus TV journey. But everything at Bet River, they just Caesars. Nobody lets me get down more than like $1.77 unless I'm parlaying. So just be careful. Be careful if you go high volume. Exchanges, you're usually going to be totally fine on. So if you want to add like the bookmakers and then slap in Novig, you're going to get in crazy opportunities there. One thing you actually will find when you're doing the Novig stuff is that you will actually end up with so many plus odd plays that you don't need to. And by the way, this is like a great one. Can I show you this? I'm going to zoom in big time for this. I'm going to move my head out of the way as well. It shows you the limit. So like one thing that really bothers me is when you do this and you find out it's like a $4 limit or something. It's like, that's not really truly plus EV. People flexing those on X and social media. And then meanwhile, if the actual play had like a $4 in liquidity available, there's $487 available here if you want to run this. Kyle Freeland over 14.5 outs on Novig, 8.5% plus EV. That's right. So bang, that's a great play. It's not just a great, that is elite. That is like top-notch opportunity. So this is the upside of using some of these tools here. You are finding yourself in a mathematical situation and positioned to be a profitable sports bettor. And I think there's 3 ways to beat the books and the pick 'em apps these days. It's by using math, following the sharp money, or using the betting models. So math, models, and money. Those are the 3 ways. The days of originating your picks, looking at trends and DVP and stats and matchups and all that nonsense, I think is over. I think all of that is all baked in. I think long-term, if you're just running, and I also think it's a volume game these days. People love best bets. Give me 1 to 3 picks. I don't think that's probably the way to do it. I mean, last night, case in point, what a great example, right? What if last night, instead of me trying to select the best bets of the night with the Dodgers -1.5, I had a screenshot of 10 best bets based on the model. They went 8-2. I shared one of the 2 losses. And that's what I mean. It's like, just follow the math, the models, the money. You get some volume in there. Instead of $50 on your as one unit on one pick nightly, maybe 10 picks for $5 each. You smooth out the variance. That's what you're doing. You're smoothing out the variance. $5 each with 8 wins. Let's say you return, $20, $25 profits. Your 50 in return $70, $75. Instead of that one pick missing on the one random arbitrary selection you've made for X, Y, and Z reasons, which adds in your bias on why you chose it. And instead of doing that, and you just run out, here's the best bets. And you just run them out. You got 10 bets at $5 each instead of 1 for 50. You went 8-2 last night. And like, I'm having trouble relaying that message to my Discord. And I continue to do it better on air, maybe because I can do it verbally, but we're all leaving so much money on the table by just trying to get in like a pick here and there at a time. But I digress. Here's another one. Again, no FanDuel, no Pinnacle early in the morning here. Scoot Henderson, under 5.5 rebounds and assists. This one, if you're looking at for the series, has been fine. There's nothing wrong with this play. Statistically speaking and mathematically speaking, great play for Prize Picks. Under 5.5 rebounds assists. We'll save that one. Let's move on. We could do this all day. We literally could do this all day. And maybe I will another time. But let's move on to another tool. I've got a lot of different tools on the site that I'm going to look at today. So we'll take a look at each of these and see if we can find some wins. Let's find some wins together. Chad, am I making sense to you right now? I know I'm like, I have so much caffeine running through my veins, and I'm really trying to talk about broad sweeping topics. I'm trying to give you some information. I'm also trying to educate. I'm trying to give you picks. We're like 6 or 7 deep already. So hopefully I'm finding a way to make you money today and I'm doing a good job. I'd like to run it back and go 10-2. But at the same token, while I'm yapping like I am today, and I'm like really in my teacher mode, I know that chat gets a little quiet. So every once in a while, when I'm in teacher mode like this and I'm rapid fire information, education, and picks, I stop, take a breather, and I check in and I'm like, hey, y'all, you still with me? Chat, you still with me? I got to know. 207 people watching right now. Do me a huge favor. Wherever you are, support, like, retweet, subscribe. I'm here for you. All right, so I'm going to close out the Plus EV tool. Let's keep it going. And again, if you're interested at all and you're like, dang, I saw his My Bets tracker. I saw how many wins have been occurring on the show. I went 10-2 yesterday. And you see all the green in there. You see March was a movie. And you're like, let me just give it a try. Give it a try. MySperryEdge.com. Nice and simple. MySperryEdge.com. Telling you, it is worth. If you're betting on sports daily, using Pick'em apps, definitely. And let's talk about those Pick'em apps. 2 different ways you can use this tool. Again, bookmakers. I have selected Prize Picks and Underdogs, the 2 popular books. Of course, you could add in Novig, all these other books and apps. As you just saw me add in Novig and get absolutely elite plays popped up, dozens of them. So if you play Novig, Underdog, these apps are for you, man. Filters, I cover these all the time. You can copy mine if you'd like. I'm actually going to create, this is pretty cool, in this helpful hints button, I'm creating little tutorials. I'm just going to link them right at the top. So you ever want to see a tutorial for each individual tool, they'll be like 30 to 60 seconds. I'm going to run through them quickly, and then you'll be able to copy essentially how I use the tool and do it on your own anytime you want. Okay, so real quick, if you unselect longer than whale, you will see a lot of liquidity. You'll see a lot more liquidity. What you won't do is you won't be able to quickly identify the best plays. Personally, I want to make sure that what price that I am getting on my picks is better than what the whale is getting. So if $1,000 is thrown down on ProfitX at -110, I want my book that I'm playing it on to be like a -105, +102, something like that. What I don't want is this. I'm not really interested in seeing 1,000 on this and being like, well, I can get it for a -115. That being said, I know there are so many members that do that exact thing. It's not for me. It's not for me. I know some that are like, I only play unders on the sharp money radar, or I only play overs. Victor Wembayama here, over 26.5 points. So like they look at this and like, I don't care. Donuts, I don't care that I'm getting worse odds on Underdog for implied 2-pick entry. They're literally sitting there saying, I see $600. I see over 26.5, and I can get this here. I'm just going to take it. And that's all they do. I'm not a fan of that. And they only run overs for whatever reason. I'm not a fan. I personally like to select longer than whale. And then even from there, I like to try to see what am I beating. So like this -115 is actually, in line with this. Is this a lot of liquidity? Nope, this is not. We'll save it for the sake of tracking, but that is not a lot of liquidity. Trey Savage? What a name. Matt Boldy, Prize Picks was under 3.5 shots on goal. Not a lot of liquidity. I'll save it for the sake of tracking, but hey, it does beat the Novig odds of -122 for a 3-pick entry for Prize Picks. Saved bet. Donovan Clingan, another one. Not a lot of liquidity. In fact, if you click helpful hints, you actually see this example, only $560 being backed here on this -111. You snag it for a -109. Meh. Not all plays are created equal. Higher liquidity and better odds, bigger gap versus your odds is a better play. $5,000 backing a -115. You get it for 12 cents cheaper. Elite. Make sense? All right. So these aren't great. We'll track them for the sake of tracking. because everybody likes to do that. And then this one here, again, you're beating $400 on Novig. There's another $500 on Profit X. You are beating one of the sharp books. We'll track for the sake of tracking, but I don't think those 4 plays were elite by any means. But hey, we're here to track picks, man. DFS Optimizer is where you're going to get your volume. We have underdog selected here, and Scott McFarland with the wonderful feedback here. Hey, I signed up for My Spurry Edge on Friday. I'm up 14 unit cents. Awesome product, best in biz, and hopefully people feel like when they sign up that they get the best value in the business. I know there are apps out there entirely built around researching. I know there's apps out there entirely built around optimizers, some that are built on projections, some that are built on sharp money, some that are built on trends, some that are built on tracking your bets, some that are built on having databases of stats so you can do the player graphs and you can have those interactive charts and you can figure out the 100% hit rate lists. There are products for each of those things individually. Some have some of those individual things lumped into one product as a bundle. My product, myspurryedge.com, has all of them. Literally every single one of them. And it's currently, let's go ahead and do this real fast. It's currently in a nice little spot where you can use all of these things that you'll see, mobile versus PC views up here. You click this and you actually get this on a 33% off discount. And by the way, because I love y'all, if you sign up, early adopters are rewarded forever. If you sign up, whatever price tag you're at before this is removed, you are going to keep that price. Meaning, let's say in a year, Sharp Edge is $150 per month. You, as long as you're still signed up, will forever be at $59.99. Early adopters are rewarded for supporting me from the get-go as we're currently under our soft launch. As you see in chat, once you join up, you'll connect to Discord and you'll see a Discord chat. I mean, we're updating things almost weekly here. I mean, this week we updated like 5 or 6 little things on Monday morning, I believe. So it's constant. It's constant. So, get in while you can. It's going to go to $89.99 here soon when the Parlay Builder's live. And then this part will go from $39.99 to $59.99 at that point. And then NFL, there'll probably be another price bump because we're adding more. So maybe it's $1.30, $1.50 by NFL season, so on and so forth. So anyways, get it while it's hot and get a nice little discount, my friends. MySprayers.com. All right. DFS Optimizer is going to have a ton of plays, literally a ton. And here's where you can be quite selective, in my opinion. What I will be looking for here on the DFS Optimizer, as my helpful hints here, is I like to not only compare versus the sharp odds, because these are the weighted lines for this specific side on a pick-em app. They're a little different than having DVIG lines, which is what the positive EV Optimizer is. This is slightly different. So on the sharp odds, it's going to be weighted lines from the sharpest books in the world for these specific sports. NBA, FanDuel is going to be heavier weighted than Pinnacle, than Circa, than Bet Online, so on and so forth. So not only that, though, but like, I don't know, for NBA, I know FanDuel's super sharp. So I want it to beat the sharp odds. I want it to beat FanDuel by a significant margin, and this one does this. So Anthony Black under 13.5 PRA on Underdog, a nice 2-pick entry. And by the way, if you're on Underdog, if you're not on Underdog, use code DONUTS, DONUTS. Your goal on Underdog would be to run out as many 2-pick entries as possible. 2-pick entries for 3.5x. Here's one. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely beautiful. Scoot Henderson under 2.5 rebounds. Beautiful. Okay. And again, I rapid fire these. Enter what you can. Pause the video later. Get it in. Ideally, what you're doing is you're simply learning. Right now, you're like, all right, I'm seeing Donut's process, and I'm going to get the site, and I'm going to apply it. And, I see Mitch doing this Monday through Friday for an hour at 9 a.m. Eastern. And I see the success, next day, I'm recapping. I went 10-2 on Monday's live show. And you're like, okay, if I copy and I emulate what he does on his show for that hour, and I do it on my own the other 23 hours a day, 30 days per month, I'm going to be in a mathematical position to profit. And that's the goal. Put you in a position to profit and teach you how to do it. It's on you all to do it 24/7 though. So again, I'm showing you what I can quickly because I'm just trying to feed the masses as quickly as possible. But if you want to be most successful, you're going to do this on your own around the clock. So Paolo Banchero, again, this is a quick little tidbit too. So, I'm zoomed in big time because I want my live show to look smooth on cell phone. But these stats, none of this matters to me, like not one iota. This is all irrelevant information. Literally, the only thing that matters to me is what you are getting mathematically speaking. So, Paolo Banchero versus Franz Wagner. Listen, check it out. They both have a 4.7% edge, but look at the difference. Minus 125 on FanDuel, which I continue to harp on being the sharpest book for NBA player props, versus this one having a minus 135. If I'm going to choose one of the Orlando players here, it's this one right here, Paolo Banchero under 21.5 points because the FanDuel odds. If you wait around until like 10 a.m. Eastern, which we're coming up on, you will end up getting Pinnacle included in the equations. And that's when you really start to get some accurate lines because now you're having another very sharp book added to the mix. Pinnacle is very important for me for NHL. They're already out there, which is nice to see. FanDuel's all right as well. Clayton Keller under 2.5 shots on goal. I'm not opposed to betting on NHL right now. I just don't know what I'm doing. Like I know nothing about the NHL. I don't watch them. So here's a Pinnacle play, minus 130, sharp odds, minus 127. Again, Raquel for either the Penguins or the Flyers to Pennsylvania, the battle for PA. He needs a point in this game on the 29th. That's tomorrow night. So save that bet. Let's keep going. De'Aaron Fox. This one is tonight, April 28th, 9:40 p.m. Under 27.5 PRA. Beautiful play. Minus 127 sharp odds. You get a minus 130 on FanDuel, which is even worse. De'Aaron Fox's PRA is at 27.5. How is it not in like the 30s? That's crazy. Wow, man. Honestly, I'm shocked. Huh. Okay. Listen, here's where my bias gets in the way. I'm like, they got a chance to close out the series. He's the 1B in the offense behind, potential MVP Wemby. I don't know about that one. I don't know. Listen, math says take it. I don't know if I can. Drew Holiday closing, hopefully to avoid closing out a series here. I do like this one. He's shown all year that he can rack up stats in multiple categories. So the over 27.5 PRA, even statistically speaking, looks great. That's an underdog play. Drew Holiday over 27.5 PRA. Marcus Smart can't hit the broadside of the barn right now with a basketball. Just terrible shooter. Under 11.5 points, fine, running it. This one to close out the series in LA against Houston. They've got Reeves should be back. Maybe a few less shot attempts if his threes aren't falling. That one looks good too. Wemby over 26.5 points. Does this one look all right? Yeah, this one's totally fine. Wemby, save that bet. That one was another. These are all underdog because I only have underdog selected. Listen, I don't even have prize picks selected right now. Don't even have prize picks selected. How are we doing, chat? By the way, it's so quiet today. But this is also one of the faster paced shows I've done in quite some time, as I am literally just entering bet after bet after bet. We are up to 17 plays today. Let's give this a breather and move on. Let's move on. You guys ready? Let's do it. So trends have been really good. Trends have been great. They've been phenomenal for finding some of the best angles, the best bets. And this is how we ended up betting on, who was it? Vlad Guerrero the other day. First single was an easy cash. It's just been literally going to like, who's been killing it at Chase Meadroth. Last year for the White Sox was also another guy we bet on for singles a lot. You were getting plus odds for him to hit a single today. Why? Because he's facing Jose Soriano. Plus 115 on DK. This is deep linked. Fliff, same thing, so on and so forth. Last year, this was a pretty good number. Yeah, 61% of the time he cashed that. 63% of the time. Recently, last 15 games. Let's look at that one. How's that look? Even better. Oh my gosh. He's cashed this in, what was that? 11 of the last 12 games? What in the world? And you're getting plus odds for Chase? How about his hits market? Minus 135 for a hit. Soriano that been that lights out? Oh my word. Soriano has been that lights out. 2 hits, 2 hits, 3 hits, 2 hits, 2 hits. What's his earned runs? Got to be 1.5. Oh my word. Soriano has given up 0 runs in 5 of 6 starts. Whoa. That's a plus odds play to the under as well. Sheesh. Wow. He's going to put himself in Cy Young contention. My goodness. Let's get off of this real quick. Actually, I'm realizing how much time I've spent making all these picks. I really wanted to focus on this today. So this is brand new. I'm going to refresh it and show you. This is so darn cool. Run lines, 60%, so on and so forth. Okay. Let's take a look at Uno momento, por favor. I want to look at my notes. I had something I wanted to accomplish today. So yesterday, here's a good example. So yesterday, and here's the photo. Okay, there it is. Let's see. See this 58% by Tampa Bay? Let's remove them. Pittsburgh was a loss, so they went 4-2. All right. So this was the elite summary. If you look at the tracker, run lines daily, 60% or better. Here are the results over the last 10 days. They've gone 50 and 29 on the model. All right. 50 and 29. You can look at top fives. You can see how they've gone, top threes, so on and so forth. You want to increase the minimum probability, see if things get better, more accurate as you go. You can do that. How have they done on the season? If they're above 70%, they've won 60% of the time. Dodgers really tanked it for us last night. So the goal is for you to be able to hop on this tool and pick out some of the best plays on your own, however you see fit. Whatever it is that makes you happy when you bet on sports, when you use the model, if you want to find some of the best categories, if you want to pick unders versus overs for the totals, so on and so forth, you can do that. You can cycle through these, and that's the goal. And then each and every day, you can look at different time frames, last 10 days versus last 7. And you can see like the run lines on the models have been phenomenal. If they're above a 60% win probability for the bet, 36 and 17 over the last week. Who wishes they bet 53 times and won 36 of them? 2/3 of your bets. I mean, if you ran these out daily, you have 1 L day. Odds are definitely going to be included here. We'll have to add this is a brand new tool, and this is why we're in a soft launch. The next phase would be adding all the ROI per market and grade. So we'll do that. Just hang tight. But this is really darn good. And I think a lot of people can use mysparyedge.com, use the betting models, and make bank like this one. You ready for another one? How about walks, overs as a bet grade of an A? Last 10 days, here are the results. 26 and 17. Almost 61% of the bets, when they are graded as an A bet, A plus, A minus, to the over. And you've won 60.5% of the bets. All right. Here's another one. How about hits allowed for that market? Oh my gosh, for those grades. 25 and 11. Dylan Cease over 3.5 hits allowed was the only A over yesterday. Do you see my point? So you can find your markets you want to use on the betting model. For instance, let's say today I wanted to use mysparyedge.com. And again, these are not final. The only way these are graded is when it says lineup locked. So tonight, games start at 6 o'clock. You'll start getting lineups locked around 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern. So if you wait until then, you'll be in a better spot. But let me show you what I'm talking about. All the walk overs that were A's, let's look at overs. So A's, here's a junk. Don't mind him just yet because his grades are coming. I had my my guy review them. Okay, watch. I'm gonna clear filters. Give me a second. I wanna think through what I'm talking about. Sometimes I get a little twisted up. Yes, I need his. I need his grades. I just tagged my guy. So you got 3 A's right now. Jacob deGrom over 1.5 walks. Nick Martinez over 1.5 walks. Zach Littell over 1.5 walks. These are all A bets to start the day. We just looked at, and again, these are not final, so I would not bet them yet. I would wait for these to lock, but here's the walks. Overs are 26 and 17 for A bets. Check this out. Now let's go look at hits allowed. We've got an A+ hits allowed over. Jacob deGrom over 3.5 hits. We have Trey Savage. Hey, yay, Savage. He was over 3.5 hits on the Sharp Money Radar. Sharp people. I'm telling you, Sharp Money Radar is a dub. So there you go. You got 2 A's. How are those? Let's go look at the hits allowed market. A's, 25 and 11 the last 10 days. How about A pluses specifically on the season? 35 and 29, 10 and 3. So they've been okay. Overall, they've been pretty darn good. Add B pluses, 41 and 17. So you could get some volume in this market. About 58%. So maybe we run out the A over for walks. That's deGrom, Martinez, Littell. Hits over, Savage, yay, Savage, and deGrom. Earned run overs was another one we were looking at in chat. Earned run overs for A's on the season. There you go. Last 30, 42 and 26. So A's, earned run overs. There's one bet. That's Jesus Luzardo over 1.5 earned runs. How about strikeouts unders? People like those. A's, strikeouts unders. Any A's? Nope. No A's today. Only B's. So nothing there in my opinion. And about hits, runs, RBIs, unders. A+, A-. All right. So these have been okay. How about last 10? 64 and 44. You want a little extra volume? Let's take a quick look. Unders, hits, runs, RBIs. All right. You've got 1, 2. You got about 10. About 10 plays. Josh Lowe all the way up to Juan Soto. Juan Soto under 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs is an A+. How have those been? A+ on the season, 9 and 7, oddly. Last 10, 9 and 3. So if you wanted to like get a little extra volume, there you go. You could run Juan Soto under 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs today as an A+ bet. How's that been doing? Wow, no way. It's been fantastic on the season. All right, two books have that, Hard Rock and DraftKings -152, and then 1.5 for a bunch of others. Do you see what I'm saying though? Like this tool right here, this tracker tool, we are making this so that you can have the easy, quick button to find how things have been doing. And like this, let me give you a really good example. So like hits allowed, we know it's been really darn good for A's, but there's only 2 bets today. So what if you wanted to run B pluses today? Okay, you can see how have B pluses been doing over the last 10. They're 16 and 6. Here's their 10 days. You have 1 day of 1 and 1. In fact, the other 9 days, 1 and 0, 2 and 0, 1 and 0, 2 and 0, 2 and 1, 3 and 2, 2 and 1, 1 and 0, 2 and 1. So pretty good. Are there B+ hits allowed today? Overs, hits, B+. There are 2 of them. So there you had deGrom, yay, Savage, Davis Martin over 4.5, Chad Patrick over 4.5. I freaking love this tool. I love this app. It's being worked on between 2 devs right now to get this on the site this morning. Potentially ends up later today. There's a lot. It's a lot of coding, and it's 2 people working on it. So hopefully it is live. But man, oh man, am I showing you all how to make money? I mean, you can literally use, you saw me use those 3 tools yesterday and go 10 and 2, 10 and 2, mysprayers.com, right there. And then I'm just showing you how to use all those projections, that tracker app, which will be helpful. Like the walks, overs, A's, hits allowed, overs, A's, hits, runs, RBIs, A+ unders, run lines, 60% or higher. Like you can make like this mini list daily of what you want to do and just do those bets. And I just listed off like 4 market angles on the model that are cashing 60, 70% of the time. You've got probably 5 to 10 bets per day doing it. What a way to bet. No thinking needed, no research needed. You don't need to know who the umpire is. You don't need to know about the wind, the weather, what day of the week it is. Ninth game on the road, 6 games straight, basketball, 3 games in 4 nights, second leg of back-to-back. Like that is all baked into the lines and baked into the models. You don't have to track it. You don't have to know how DeGrom has been doing on his starts. How many times has he hit over 3? Like, it's literally all baked into the equation, man. We take the thinking out for you. That's our goal. So if you're somebody who's like, man, I want some betting volume and I want easy buttons, I've literally created that for you. And that's what I show you every single day on the live show. And I try to make as many bets as I can for you on the live show. 10 and 2 yesterday. We have 17 bets live for today. And then I covered, another 10 or so from the projections, which are early leans. I don't think you can lock anything in yet, but some really interesting early lean plays based on the models. Appreciate you too, Crispy P. Love all the insight and bets you quick fired this AM. Thanks again. You're the GOAT. Nah, you're the GOAT. I'm nothing without the people that show up for the shows. I'm nothing. Just another person on YouTube and on X making picks, which we're a dime a dozen these days. So community is everything for me. And if people don't show up, I have no reason to be live, and I'll quietly recede into the background until NFL returns, because I usually do that every year around April. And I tell you, I've done, I don't know, since baseball started, 30 something live shows. We've done some shows where some days we've done twice. So I will keep showing up for the live shows if people show up to watch them. That's how that'll work. So thank you for showing up. Today's a shorter show, though. I have stuff I got to accomplish with my developers so we can get more things on the site. MySperryEdge.com. Good luck on your bets today. Hopefully those 17 picks I gave you sweep. That would be insane. You better believe I'll freak out. Let's get to work, my friends. A lot to do today. Let's make some money. MySperryEdge.com. Let's get paid.